Okay, that is Paubaya by Moira de la Torre, the trending breakup song, mga ating mga estudyante, parents, and teachers that is listening to 98.2 Radio San Pedro. We hold the key. Today's lesson, we will tackle the kinds of variables and their uses. What is variable? Is a characteristic of an individual or organization that can be observed and measured, and it can vary among people, organizations, being studied by Creswell of 2002. It comes from the root word vary or simply can change. By Bernard of 1994 defines variable as something that can take more than one value, and values can be words or numbers. The most common variables in social research are age, sex, gender, education, income, marital status, and education. Other experts define a variable as any entity that can take on different values. Simply stated, anything that can vary can be considered a variable. An attribute, on the other hand, is a specific value on a variable. So, by Creswell of 2002, variable is a vary or simply can change. By Bernard of 1994, defines variable as something that can more than one value. It can variables of social research such as age, sex, gender, education, income, or marital status or education. For instance, we have some examples here. The variable sex has two attributes like male and female. The variable income has an attribute of 5,000 per month, 10,000 per month, 15,000 per month, and so on. That is an example of variable of sex, male or female. We have the variable of income, which is an attribute of 5,000, 10,000 per month, or 15,000 per month. So that are the examples of variables of sex and variable of income. Now let's go on with remember, what is variable? Should have at least two attributes, otherwise it is constant. We have here the four types of variable. Number one, the nominal variable represent categories that cannot be ordered in any particular way. What is a nominal variable? We have here four examples, which is biological sex, male or female, blood type. Like for example, we have blood type AB, okay, OO, race, political party, political affiliation, zip code, eye color, or religion. So when we say nominal variable, it represents categories that cannot be ordered in any particular way. The best example is that the biological sex, male and female. We have number two is ordinal variable, represents categories that can be ordered from greatest to smallest. So greatest to smallest, that is nominal variable. Like for example, we have here the grade level, satisfaction rating, socioeconomic status, or rank. So the best example here is the grade level. Like for example, from grade 7 to grade 12, that is the description here represent categories that can be ordered from greatest to smallest. Okay, next, number 3, interval variable. Have values that lie along an evenly dispersed range of numbers. Dispersed range of numbers. Like for example, we have here employees net worth, pH level, body temperature, SAT score of 200 to 500. Let's remember, when we are saying interval variables have values that lie along evenly dispersed range of numbers, like we have here the body temperature, like 37 degrees, 36 degrees. So those are interval variable. Next, we have number 4, ratio variable. Have variables that lie along the evenly dispersed range of numbers when there is an about absolute zero. It possesses the properties of interval variable and has a clear definition of zero. Clear definition of zero. Like for example, we have here the dose amount, okay? Concentration, weight. Like for example, your weight is 80 kilogram, 70 kilogram, 50 kilogram. Distance, reaction rate or flow rate, pulse rate, or even length. So when we say ratio variable, variables that is evenly dispersed in number. So the best example is that the weight. Okay, next, kinds of variables. What are the kinds of variables? Number one, independent variable. Those that probably cause influence or affect outcomes. They are invariably called treatment, manipulated, antecedent, or predictor variables. Like for example, a study of the relationship of parental support and academic performance of senior high school students in Nara National High School. Parental support is the independent variable because it influences the outcome or the performance of the students. So let's study the example. A study on the relationship of parental support and academic performance of the senior high school students in Nara National High School. What is the independent variable? The parental support, because it influenced the outcome of the performance of the student. That is a independent variable because it can stand alone. Number two, dependent variables. Those that depend on the independent variables, they are the outcomes or results on the influence of the independent variable. It can be influenced by the independent variable, the dependent variable. Okay? Number three, intervening variable or mediating variable stand between the independent or the dependent variables, and they show the effects of the independent variable on the dependent variable. That is the intervening variable between the independent and the dependent variable. So those are the four types of variables and the kinds of variables. Okay, after this song, I will have two questions and will be giving away 20 pesos load sa mga mananalo for this question. Two winners. I will be giving away 5 winners of 20 pesos load for today. So let's listen to this next song, and then later on I will ask two questions for the first part of our broadcast. You are still listening at 98.2 Radio San Pedro. We hold the key, bringing the lesson straight to your home. This song is brought to you by Bugoy Drilon, Having You Near Me version. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bugoy Jerlon, having a near me version. And let's go back to 98.2 Rajas San Pedro. We hold the key. And now let's have our first two questions. Who will win 20 pesos load? Yung unang dalawang makakasagot. Sino kaya ang lucky na mananalo sa ating mga grade 12 and grade 11 students? Are you ready? Sasagot kayo sa ating group chat. Okay, this is the first question. Blank, this is a kind of variable, represents categories that cannot be ordered in any particular way. So I am waiting for the answers in our respective group chat. Again, the question is blank, this type of variable represent categories that cannot be ordered in any particular way. The best example is the biological sex or the male or female. So, who will be the first one to answer our first question? So, what is our answer for our first question? Blank, this is a variable, represent categories that can be ordered in any particular way. So, who will be the first student that will answer our question? The best example is biological sex, male or female. I'm waiting for 12 TVL combo, 12 ABM, 11 ABM, 11 CSS, and 11 TVL combo. Who will be the first student who will win 20 pesos load for our first question? Blank represent categories that cannot be ordered in any particular way. Okay, wala bang makakasagot? Okay, 12 TVL combo, 12 ABM, 11 CSS, 11 ABM, and 11 TVL combo. The best example is biological sex. Okay, in 1 minute. Okay, in 1 minute, we will be waiting for your answers. Okay, from 12 TVL combo, the correct answer is nominal variable. Very good. So, later on, PM your smart number and I'll be sending you your 20 pesos regular load. Congratulations! Ayaw niyang magpakilala. So, our first winner is from 12 TBL combo. The correct answer is nominal variable. Very good. She's listening to our broadcast. Now, let's go on with our next topic, which is the examples of variables. A teacher researcher is studying the effect of cooperative learning activities, like for example, structure group work toward academic achievement in science. So what is the topic? The academic achievement in science. We have here the independent variable and the dependent variable and the intervening variable. Let's have the independent variable. The cooperative learning, that is our independent variable. When we say that dependent variable, we have the academic achievement of students in science. When we say intervening variable, student trait like extrovert and introvert. Students who are extrovert enjoyed working in groups and tends to participate in cooperative learning more than introvert students. So, the extrovert students are mingling with other students when they are conducting their activities, while the introvert students is not. The students' trait like being introvert and extrovert is the intervening variables because it mediates the effects of cooperative learning. So, in the middle, the traits which is extrovert and introvert is between the independent variable and the dependent variable, which is the independent variable is the independent learning, while the dependent variable is the academic achievement of students in science. So, from the given example above, academic performance of the CHS students in NNHS is the dependent variable because it is depending on the kind of parental support showed, which makes their performance high or low. So, the independent variable or the stated above, like the academic performance of the CHS students in Nara National High School is the dependent variable because it's depending on the kind of parental support shown, which makes their performance high or low. So we have number 4 here, the kinds of variable, which is the control variable. From the word itself, control. Special types of independent variables that are measured in a study because they potentially influence the dependent variable. Researchers use a statistical procedure, like for example, analysis of the covariance to control these variables. They may be demographic or personal variables that need to be controlled so that the true influence of the independent variable on the dependent variable can be determined in an experiment. It is the variable that is held constant. When we say controlled variable, it is the special type of independent variable that are measured in study because they potentially influence the dependent variable. Like for instance, we have the analysis of covariance. This is a kind of controlled variable because they may be demographic or personal variables that can be controlled. Okay, next, we have an example here. In a study determining the effects of exposure to different colored lights on the growth of the plant. So what is the study that they are conducting? Like for example, determining the effects of exposure of different colored lights on the growth of the plant. The control variables are the type of plant, the amount of soil, and the amount of water given to the plants. These variables are controlled so that the plant growth can be attributed with certainty to exposure to different colors or lights. That is the example. The study that they are conducting is determining the effects of exposure to different colored lights on the growth of the plant. So before the next question, again, we are giving away 20 pesos regular load for our Smart Student subscribers. After this song, we will have our next question for the 20 pesos regular load. This is Heaven by Budakel, Michael Pangilinan, Bugoy Drilon, and Daryl Ong. Again, you are listening to 98.2 Radio San Pedro. We hold the key, bringing the lesson straight to your home. That is Heaven by Budakel, originally sung by Brian Adams. Again, you are still listening to 98.2 Radio San Pedro. We hold the key, bringing the lesson straight to your home. Now let's go on with our What's More activity in our Practical Research 2 Module 3. Number 1. Let's have our direction first. Answer the following questions below. Number 1. Distinguish independent from dependent variable in a complete sentence. Always remember, class, you are going to answer these questions briefly and concise. Number 1 question. Distinguish independent from dependent variables in a complete sentence. Number 2. Explain the term control variable in your own words in a complete sentence. Number 2, explain the term control variables in your own words in a complete sentence. That is question number 2. Let's go on with question number 3. Explain confounding variable in your own words in a complete sentence. Number 3 question, explain confounding variables in your own words in a complete sentence. Number 4, which of the two is an independent variable? A. Students undergo blended learning in English subject. Letter B. Students who undergo blended learning have improved grades in an English subject. Explain your answer in a complete sentence. Always remember, class, when you are going to answer the activities in Practical Research 1 and Practical Research 2 activities, always answer briefly and concise, considering the key points and important answers or important view in answering a certain questions in such activities. Okay, number 5. Which of the two is the dependent variable? Letter A. A considerable number of consumers use the twin pack in a 3-in-1 coffee product. Letter B. A leading coffee manufacturer introduces a twin pack in a 3-in-1 coffee product. Explain your answer in a complete sentence. So those are the 5 questions in our What's More activities. Now let's go on with our next question. We'll be winning 20 pesos load. Next question. Blank, this type of variable represents categories that can be ordered from greatest to smallest. Okay, again, our next question is, what kind of variable represent categories that can be ordered from greatest to smallest? Now, I'll be waiting for your answers in our respective group chat for 1 minute. What is a variable that represent categories that can be ordered from greatest to smallest? Like, for example, a grade level. So, I'll be waiting for your answers, guys. So, what is that type of variable? Okay, our next winner is from 12 Gas. Her answer is ordinal variable. Very good. It represents categories that can be ordered from greatest to smallest. Example here is the grade level. Very good. So we have the 2 winners of regular load 20 for our smart subscribers, for our students. Again, we are ending this broadcast. This is your teacher broadcaster, Miss Girly Taklibon Mangubat. You can call me Ma'am G for short. Deliver information for your learning. Let's learn, let's innovate. Let's develop our skills and capability. Stay safe, stay home. Don't forget to wash your hands, sanitize, wear face mask and face shield all the time. Always remember, prevention is better than cure. Living you the saying, the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education, by Martin Luther King. This is the end of tuning in to 98.2 Radio San Pedro. We hold the key. Always pray, dream big, and act for your success. Until our next lesson, goodbye and God bless.